DVAR halacha, and here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Sunday, the 15th day of November. Here we go. You know, in the laws of Shabbos, when you take something off of the stovetop, let's say, a blech, you know, the cover that's over the top of the oven, the stove, and you had something that was bubbling hot, and you lifted it off of the stove, that is called a kli rishon. It is the first vessel, which means it's been directly in contact with a very hot source, and it's yad soletaspo, which means your hand would jump away from it if you touched it. That's how hot it is. And you have to be careful that when we give you an example, this will be very clear, but that would mean that it's so hot that if something were to be placed inside of it, it could even get cooked while inside of that kli rishon, that first vessel, and that could even apply to a liquid or a solid, and therefore you can't put liquids, again, an example will make this very clear, so you can't put a liquid or a solid into that kli rishon even after you removed it from the fire, as long as it's hot enough that a hand would jump away from it if it touched it. So let's get to our example and it'll make it very clear. Let's say you had a cholent which was cooking and it was hot enough that be putting a baby bottle inside of a cholent pot. But so to change the example, it's not a cholent pot, it's something all power, but it's hot, and it's a kli rishon, a first vessel. Hot enough that if you touched it, your hand would jump away. It's off the fire now, but it's still that hot. So you couldn't place a baby bottle with milk inside of it into that container in order to heat it up, because a kli rishon, this kind of vessel, is capable of cooking stuff that's inside of it. Even liquids that are inside of a container could become quote-unquote cooked up if they're put inside of that container. And therefore, you would not be allowed to put that baby bottle inside of that pot of stuff even after it's taken off of the fire. When it cools down, cool enough that your hand wouldn't jump away from it, then okay, then you'd be allowed to put the baby bottle inside of it. But to tell you the truth, by then it wouldn't be very helpful to put the baby bottle inside of it because that's how cool it is. But the main point is here that when the pot is that hot, even if it's off the fire, it's still capable of cooking another vessel placed inside of it, even if it's holding liquid inside of it. And therefore you can't warm a baby's bottle by placing it in a hot pot of water that has come off of the fire and is still hot. Thanks for logging on, and I hope that wasn't too complicated. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.